Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about a big update for The Mandalorian Season 3, some new details for LEGO Star Wars and more. As always my dear friends, before we dive into it, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post a new video. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. We're going to begin by talking about The Mandalorian Season 3. Giancarlo Esposito recently spoke to a young fan at GalaxyCon where he revealed that he's going to begin filming for The Mandalorian Season 3 very soon. While the show is now officially in pre-production with everything being set up behind the scenes, it's confirmed that Giancarlo Esposito is bracing himself to begin filming Moff Gideon scenes within the next month. Now this is massive because it confirms our suspicions that The Mandalorian Season 3 will be getting underway before September. Now around the time that The Mandalorian Season 2 finished airing last winter, Giancarlo Esposito spoke about the significance of Gideon in the upcoming season. He teased that history repeats itself, but he also suggested that he's not working alone. Now we recently learned that Lars Mikkelsen has been cast as Thrawn, and I wonder if there's going to be a tie-in with those two characters. Now that Moff Gideon has been arrested by the New Republic, is his boss going to reveal himself? And is that boss Grand Admiral Thrawn? We know for certain that Thrawn has a big role in the grand scheme of things for the Filoniverse, especially in Star Wars Ahsoka, but could there be a crossover with the Mandalorian as well? Recently, the stuntman who doubles up as Mando said that in Season 3 there are going to be much less new characters and that the season is going to be focused on character development instead. This makes me wonder if we're going to get a backstory to Gideon, and that could be in the form of flashbacks, but overall I think we're going to be getting a lot more Gideon than we did last season. I for one truly hope so, but as Mandalorian fans this is really the greatest time to be alive. In just under 5 months we have the Book of Boba Fett, and live action Star Wars fever is going to be in full swing. As I've said in the past guys, we don't know anything about the plot for any of the upcoming shows, but a big mystery is where we're going to see Grogu next. He's the most profitable character for Disney, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he shows up across multiple series, including the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka. So now my dear friends, we're going to move away from The Mandalorian and talk about LEGO Star Wars. So as you guys know, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has been long anticipated by fans. It's often jokingly branded as the game that is never released due to the amounts of delays that it's faced. But now it seems that Amazon and other retailers have updated the release date to December the 31st of 2021, so December 31st of this year. Now before we get ahead of ourselves and get too excited, some fans have pointed out that this might be a provisional date and not the official release date. But I will say, to contrast, this is the first time that such a date has been provided, and other news outlets have subsequently ramped up their coverage of what we can expect from the game. This game is going to incorporate all 9 movies of the Skywalker Saga, with The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker being the most recent entries. It's also going to contain elements of The Mandalorian and possibly The Bad Batch as well. What many fans are excited about are which elements from episodes 8 and 9 are actually going to be included in the game, and what might those look like. Apart from the last 2 movies, every other film has appeared in LEGO games before, but the inclusion of 8 and 9 is very exciting for many fans. Playing through The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker in the upcoming game is going to be a new experience for everyone, but some of its gameplay and content is likely very predictable just based on what's in the movie. Each episode in the game is known to have 5 story missions, thus giving fans potentially some idea on what The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker will contain. If we look at The Last Jedi for example, based on the movie structure of episode 8, it stands to reason that players will likely focus on some planets in some chapters, while exploring a couple of different characters in the others. Of course that's just speculation at this time, but it's likely that players will follow the story in a structure like this. Notably, as players advance through The Last Jedi, they will visit new hubs in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and many of these have already been revealed. For example, Arc 2 Island where Luke Skywalker hid himself, Cantonica, the planet that Canto Bight appears on, and Crate, the salty mineral planet where General Leia's resistance has its last stand against the First Order. We've seen some of these glimpses in the game's trailers, but it will be very interesting to see how it manifests. In terms of chapters, the first one of The Last Jedi is going to conclude with General Leia surviving being dragged into space. The second chapter is going to dive into Rey's interactions with Luke, while the third chapter is going to focus on Canto Bight. Chapter 4 will be Snoke's flagship, and Chapter 5 is going to focus on Crate, with Luke's face-off against Kylo Ren being central. For The Rise of Skywalker, Rey's training is likely going to feature heavily, with a big focus on taking on Kylo Ren and the final battle of Exegol. The game is likely going to end with the final chapter on Tatooine, with Rey picking up her yellow lightsaber. Another very exciting feat in this game is the introduction of Yaddle in Lego form. And of course, in the Mandalorian chapters, we're going to see Grogu. Now, the second big piece of LEGO Star Wars news is that the game does seem to be gearing up for a release date in the somewhat near future, as the official LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga Steam page has been updated with multiple languages. Brick fanatics caught onto this yesterday, and they claim that this is a big clue that we're nearing an official release date. All in all, great things are definitely to come, and while it's been a frustrating wait for fans of this game, it's hopefully going to be worth it. Now finally, my dear friends, we're going to be talking about the Bad Batch, because the new Stormtrooper design that we see in episode 14 War Mantle pays big tribute to Ralph McQuarrie and a very early George Lucas idea. So let us take a look at this article. In the latest episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch, an early George Lucas idea is finally paid off. We see Stormtroopers wearing armor that is very similar to the concept art for Stormtroopers in A New Hope, designed by Ralph McQuarrie. As we see in the episode, the Bad Batch receives a request from Captain Rex to rescue Gregor. While on the planet of Darrow, Clone Force 99 gets their first real look at the Imperial replacements, the recruited stormtroopers that would eventually make up the bulk of the Empire's forces. However, their armor looks to be in an early and almost prototype stage, resembling the earliest pieces of concept art created for the first ever Star Wars movie in 1977. It really shows that Dave Filoni and all of Lucasfilm who work on this project really know how to pay tribute to George Lucas and the earliest concept art for the franchise. I really wanted to touch upon this, but now I turn it over to you. What did you guys make of everything that we covered in today's news update? If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and a huge welcome if you are, and if you guys want to contribute to the channel, please consider becoming a patron. The link is in the description down below, but otherwise, I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.